Hey folks, it's Dag, and I want to talk about my Patreon a little bit. I've actually let it go and hadn't posted for months on it. So in the last couple of days, I've uploaded a whole bunch of new files and pictures. And I want to talk a little bit about it, folks, because this is a really great value. I've taken all of my designs, both 3D, aircraft designs, everything, and put it on my Patreon. I basically have 3 tiers. You virtually get the same, depending on which, if you join as a $5 navigator, you get virtually what you get as a captain. I just created different tiers for those who want to give more. Because folks, I have spent 7 years and tens of thousands of hours doing all of these different designs. So each of these 3D designs have a step file. Has STLs. You can request step files, or you can request the Fusion 360 file that I created with it. Okay, now some of these come with Fusion 360 and these STLs, but I've been starting to do more step files. But if you don't see the step file or the Fusion 360 and you want one, all you got to do is reach out to me and I'll post it on my Patreon. These 3D engines, folks, can be scaled to any size you want. They're incredibly detailed. You've seen them on a lot of my builds because I love doing these engines. I've gotten a lot of requests, like this one right here was for a carbon, the T28, carbon T28 or whatever it was called. So I designed this. It pops into the back of the cow. You have to do a little bit of grinding to get it to work, but in the end, it looks really good on the front of the T28. And I was really excited with how this turned out, folks. But literally on my Patreon is every design. And I'm getting ready to do a big photo dump of a lot of build pictures of each of these projects. So if you see you want more pictures of stuff, all you got to do is ask. This Mercedes engine, I've had a lot of people download it. It's one of the most downloaded engines that I've done. I was commissioned to do a project for the Spirit of St. Louis engine right here, and this took the most time of any engine I've ever designed in 3D, folks. And when I 3D printed it and painted it, it looked really good. It actually went on a museum type piece, Spirit of St. Louis, and it is just awesome. I also have a Lerone engine that a lot of people, I have the front half and I have the whole engine. It's been a very popular engine that's been downloaded too. The Lerone is a real big one. And then I just have these kind of fake front halves that can go in any type of an engine. Any type of an aircraft that you want. And I call this my vintage series right here, folks. And also that Mercedes, that upper half works really good with a lot of different Balsa USA type planes. Also on my Patreon is all of my airframe designs. These are in both PDF and AutoCAD. If there's something you want a little bit different, reach out to me and I can do it. My B-36 is on there too. Folks, keep in mind, I've had people tell me I'm an idiot for putting these on my Patreon that you can get to for $5. But folks, I just want to share it with a hobby. This is my C-130, which is actually one of the coolest projects I've ever done in my life. All of the drawings are up on the Patreon for that. The MSL2's up there. And folks, some of these have been converted to Fusion 360 files too. So right now there's AutoCAD and PDFs, but like this one, I actually created I imported it to Fusion 360 to create step files. And folks, there's a lot of airframes I just haven't built yet. Like this Mosquito is on my Patreon. And this is another really cool project that I want to get to one day. I just haven't had time. And folks, one thing about my Patreon is you can ask for basically anything you want. And within 14 days, I try to get it to you. Well, and when I mean anything, I'm talking related to my drawings and my projects. Okay. My T28's up there too. This project has got to get built. I love this airframe. It's really super simple. You could scale it all the way down to probably 20 inches, all the way up to 15 feet. It's just a really sleek, very simple and simplistic design for a T28. And I have my pits, or what I was going to call my super pits. It's on my Patreon, and I want to build this one day too, folks, but I've only got so much time. I also put some of the calculators I created up on my Patreon. This is how you can figure out how much torque a servo should have to move a flying surface, like a rudder, elevator, ailerons. And all my air bike pictures and some details are up there on the air bike. Now on the air bike, basically everything you're going to find there is pictures, but I did create a lot of 3D images and step files of like the wings, so you know kind of how that all goes together. And then folks, on my Patreon is just all the weird things that I've had people ask me to build. Like this bomb. You can 3D print this fake bomb, any scale you want. It's pretty well scaled because I took it off some scale drawings. I got these Hellfire missiles that I did for a buddy that has a helicopter and he needed Hellfire missiles. I also had a buddy have a big P-38 project and needed the turbo superchargers, so I designed those for him. And folks, all of this stuff can be 3D printed, at least the 3D files. I did some exhaust ports for both P-40s and P-51s, both versions of the P-40, which is, I can't remember which they were. I did this machine gun, a World War I machine gun, which was pretty kick-ass. I've had this downloaded a lot too. And then I have my variable pitch prop thing that I've been trying to develop. This is basically a hacker motor that's going through a gear system. So folks, if there's anything you want and it's not on my Patreon and you think I could 3D design it easily, let me know. But I just want to share a little bit about my Patreon. Rock on, everybody. Have a great day and be safe. Bye-bye.